guys, I decided to do this lesson through the video because I feel that the Delta Math program offers some more difficult questions mixed in with some of the easier ones, and I'm not able to pick and choose. So this is a lesson that we finished with on our last day of classes together. We're going to convert from rectangular form, which is xy, to polar form, which is r theta. Remember, r is the ring and theta is the angle. In order to do that, we need a problem. So the first problem that I have here is convert the point 57 to polar degrees to the nearest tenth, and then B to convert to polar radians to the nearest tenth. So if we're doing A, first thing I would recommend is draw a little sketch. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're just trying to get a triangle going. So let's say 5 is here and 7 is here. The point 57 would be about there. I'm going to drop down a perpendicular, connected to the origin. Here's my right angle. This is your horizontal distance, is your x value, so that's going to be 5. And this is your vertical distance, which is your y value, which is 7. First thing we're going to do is we're going to find r. R is just the hypotenuse of the right triangle. And in order to find the hypotenuse of the right triangle, we can just do Pythagorean theorem. So r squared is going to equal to 5 squared plus 7 squared. If I take my calculator, 5 squared plus 7 squared, well, that's 74. And then if I take the square root of that, r equals square root of 74, 8.602325. And if I round it to the nearest tenth, like the directions said, it would be 8.6. So that is how we find r. Now, to find theta, well, here's theta. Theta is the angle closest to the origin. We talked about in class that we would use SOHCAHTOA. And in particular, we will use tan because we will always have the opposite side and the adjacent side. So it's going to be tan theta equals your opposite 7 over your adjacent 5. And now to solve for theta, we're going to do tan inverse of 7 divided by 5. So remember that second tan on your calculator, and you might want to make sure that you're in degree. I just checked my calculator. So second tan, 7 divided by 5, and I get 54.4623. So that means that theta is going to equal to 54.5 to nearest tenth. So if I was going to convert this from rectangular to polar degree, it would go to 8.6, 54.5. Now, part B said to convert it to polar radians. Well, to convert from degrees to radians, we have to multiply theta by pi over 180. And that is something we discussed on that last day. So again, I don't like to use rounded answers. So I'm going to take my 54.4623 and multiply it by pi over 180. So I still have that in my calculator. So I'm just going to use that answer times alpha y equals to get my fraction, pi over 180, and I get 0.95. And that rounded to the nearest tenth, that 9 becomes a 10. So rounded to the nearest tenth really just becomes 1.0. So if I was going to convert it from rectangular form to polar radians, it would be 5/7 goes to 8.6, comma 1.0. I'm going to be doing another video in my next example, or I will be doing another video for my next example. Sorry.